Hi everybody, Alex Bezaritas here, author of Evolution Gone Wrong. I want to take a couple minutes to talk to you today about the historical roots of back pain. When hominids transitioned from a life in the trees to a life on the ground, there were some significant changes to the skeleton that took place during that time. Some of the most significant ones occurred to the shape of the spine. The spine went from this sort of rigid, stiff version for animals up in the trees to a more flexible, curvy version to support bipedal life down on the ground. In particular, a curve in the lower back and the lumbar portion developed that helped shift the center of gravity over the hips, which really helped with balance, and a curve in the upper portion, the cervical portion of the back, developed over time that put the weight of the head more over the trunk of the body, which reduced the strain on the neck. The lower curvature can tend to push inward a little too much, and when the shape gets off like that, it's called lordosis, and that can cause back pain. And when the upper curvature, it can also sort of get out of whack, and when it pushes too far outward, it causes an individual to kind of look hunched over in what's called kyphosis. I think it's really interesting to think about how the transition to bipedalism might have taken place. There's some recent evidence that suggests that it took place in a wet, forested environment rather than on the dry savanna. And that's a really significant finding, and I'm going to explain why here with the help of this swimming pool. So when other great apes get up onto 2 feet, which they can do, chimpanzees will do it from time to time, gorillas, they have to stand in a flexed leg stance, and it places a ton of stress on their leg muscles, and they just can't do it for very long, which is why they go back down onto all fours. So an early hominid on land would have had a lot of pressure put on their leg muscles. But with this new idea that maybe the transition to bipedalism took place in a wetter environment, some people are suggesting that maybe wading was an important part of the transition. So as I step into the pool and adopt that flexed leg stance, now the water supports the weight of my body, and I can stand much longer like this. Or if I get even deeper in the pool, so we're in a situation where you really would have had to be on 2 feet or you would have been underwater, now if I bend my legs, the water completely supports me, and I could stand like this all day and sit here and forage or do whatever I needed to do. So I think that's a really interesting sort of new idea. Eventually, hominids developed the ability to lock their legs in place. The femurs in our ancestors angle inward in a way that is different from other great apes, and that allows us to lock our legs and just stand, and then once that adaptation came along, you wouldn't have needed any kind of water and this wading idea, and we're often running on land. The last thing I want to talk about is just the importance of keeping the core of the body strong for maintaining the shape of the back. If you keep those abdominal muscles and the back muscles really strong, then it maintains the proper curve and the proper shape. And if you don't do that, then more acute injuries are likely to occur, and even chronic pain can occur over time. So I hope you got something out of this today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the excerpt online. Thanks a lot.